Most of us have probably seen this picture in one form or another, but what does it sound like? Well, it sounds like nothing. An image doesn't emit any sound by its own. But, well, let's make it. Let me explain. So we all know how everything in computers is just zeros and ones. Well, it's true. Every single file on your computer is just data. Take a sound file, for example. Different file formats might have different compression tactics and so on. But in the end, every sound file boils down to a very long list of decimal numbers between -1 and 1, representing points on a waveform. The same goes for image files. Again, different formats might have different compression tactics, but in the end it's just a long list of numbers, representing the red, green, blue and possibly the alpha value of each pixel. Armed with that knowledge, a question like "what does this image sound like?" is actually something we can answer. We just have to take the data and interpret it in a different way. Just take all the zeros and ones and pretend that it's sound data instead. So I wrote a program that reads an image file, uncompresses all the data and stores it in a long list of numbers. For convenience, I converted all of the 1-byte red, green and blue values of each pixel from the whole number range of 0 to 255 to a decimal number between -1 and 1. Then I just take all of these values in the image, pretend that it's sound data and adds it to a list of samples that I then write out as a WAV file. At this point I should probably warn you, you are about to hear some, well, maybe not the most pleasant sounds. If you're wearing headphones, be careful. Anyway, so executing that process on this image, let's have a listen to what it sounds like. Let's try that in stereo as well, real quick. It will make a shorter sound file, but it will utilize the full stereo spectrum. Let's listen. So those were certainly unpleasant sounds, but interesting. For shits and giggles, I tried lowering the sample rate of the stereo sound and ran it through some processing. EQ, saturation, compression, reverb. Let's listen to what that sounds like. Well, seems like I accidentally did a nightmare fuel. But okay, we can get more creative than this. Let's stop treating the image data as just sound data and treat it more like compositional data, or more so MIDI data. We can interpret different parts of the pixel data to represent certain things, to maybe make a riff that would make the person in the picture proud. So, alright, let's break it down. The red, green and blue channels are each 8 bits or 1 byte. And we can imagine these bits representing pretty much anything we want to build a long, unpredictable polyrhythmic riff. Let's start with the red channel. Let's take the first 2 bits of the red channel, which can hold a number in the range from 1 to 4, to represent the length of each guitar stroke of the riff in 16th notes. The next 4 bits in the red channel will be used to determine if the note should be muted or not. I think I want more open notes than muted ones, so the note is only muted if the first bit of those 4 bits is a 1, so basically a 1 in 4 chance. Let's move on to the green channel. This will determine the notes we'll play. We only care about the first 2 bits, so the fret will be between an open string and the 3rd fret. If the length of the stroke is at its maximum, 4 16th notes or 1 quarter note, we also add an accent symbol, picked from a set of 3 crash symbols based on the next 2 bits of the green channel. For every guitar stroke, we also add a matching bass stroke and a kick drum. And we also place a snare on the 3rd of every bar. Almost done. Let's do something exciting with the drums. Aside from the kick, snare and accent cymbal hits I've already placed, I created a few drum beats that changes every 30-second bars in the song or so. Let's also add a crazy lead guitar. I'm thinking tapped 16th notes just playing over the rhythm. So I added 1 note for every pixel in the image. Similar process to the rhythm notes. This time the blue channel determines the note. Again, only uses the first 2 bits of the blue channel for a possible note range of 0 to 3, played on the high E string of the guitar. This process also keeps track of the last played note, so if it's the same note, we just shift that note up an octave to eliminate repeats. I also wrote some metadata for the drum beats to determine when the lead guitar should play or not, because I thought some of the drum beats sounded better with no lead guitar. I also added some ambient guitars and 16th note hi-hats over the song manually after the fact. So after all that, this is what this image sounds like. So yeah, this kinda goes to show that just about any data can be interpreted in any way you want to, if you just massage it in the direction you want it to go. This was a fun exercise. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video.